The following presentation is brought to you through the paid memberships of NotaryStars.com, the only notary training platform and resource library with over 150 hours of training on every loan product under the sun. Together with our sister website, OnlineNotariesPublic.com, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary, we strive to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without overfabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support us, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member and trusting us to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Here's my cue. Hey there, friends. Get ready for an electrifying Monday General Mentorship MGM session. We're thrilled to have you join us for another week of learning, networking, and growth. Remember, we meet every Monday except for holidays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So mark your calendars. Let's make this a weekly tradition. If you're new to Notary Stars, we are your one-stop shop for everything notary, from rock-solid basics to the most complex loan file types. We're at about 32 different types currently, and more to come. We've just got you covered. We conquer the mysteries of Ron and offer the best notary business marketing course to help you shine. One important note that you need to know, we are not a certificate program, guys. We're a continuing education program, and we're here to provide you with the latest education and keep you up to date on industry changes. Let's meet your mentors. My name is Beth Hathoot, your fearless leader and lead instructor. Mr. Ronnie Mickle, he's Notary Stars founder and marketing SEO wizard. Ronnie also holds the distinguished honor of Wix Legend status bestowed to him by the Wix Partner Program. Kirsten Bly, our notary liaison. If you're a brand new notary, Kirsten is here to hold your hand and get you headed in the right direction. Bill Bumfrey, unfortunately, isn't with us this evening, but he's our expert Ron instructor, and Manuel Puga is our Spanish-speaking instructor. Learn the translation tricks when presented with loan documents to be communicated or translated across the table in Spanish. Manuel can show you the ropes there. Let's make this session unforgettable. A couple of things we want you to do. This is a perfect networking opportunity for you guys. So update your Zoom label with your state abbreviations so other notaries can see what notaries are in their area. There you might want to connect with somebody. Show your faces. It is really hard to do this when we're looking at static pictures on the gallery. If you could turn your cameras on, we'd love to see your smiling face. Get involved. Raise your virtual hand to ask questions, share tips, or participate in the discussion. If everybody doesn't know how to raise their hand, we'll post that in the chat for you here in just a minute. We're only here for an hour, guys, so let's make the most of it. All right, Mr. Mickle, would you like to get this party started?
I surely would. So first things first, everybody, I'd like to reiterate, please turning on the camera. It's so much easier when we're talking to people out there, if we can actually see their faces and see them nodding along and interacting. I have a segment that I really wanted to bring up for us right here at the beginning. And I think it's really important, especially because we're about to go into this period where you guys are going to be going out and trying to get more business. And I know people are tuning in right now. I got a lot of emails back when people were saw that we were going to be addressing this evening. So first of all, I have to say it like this, okay? And I want to say this with much love to the community. I can come off a little bit crass at times, okay? And the reason for that is that I'm a really busy guy. And I know sometimes I play it off like, no, I'm not that busy, but yes, I am. And I want to say this, there are trainers out there that do not do what I do. I own a literally multi-million-dollar signing service, and I work with 450 title companies across the country. many of them in states that you're operating in, which means I have a really good point of view of what people are looking for from you. The same notaries that are going for direct business are taking the same approach with me, as well as my title clients. And I'm capturing this information, and I see trainers out in the country telling notaries to do certain things that are actually hurting them. So I really want to bring this to the forefront. I didn't want to work for a signing service, so I started one. Literally. I didn't want anybody taking all my money. And I want all of you to understand, although I have a signing service and you're more than welcome to work with me at Unlimited Ink Notary, I want you guys to know that you can truly go out and get your own direct business. And the best way to do it, if you don't want to own a signing service, is to leave signing services to fill in the holes on your calendar. Realize that you need to operate like it's direct business, but use these tactics to work both the signing services and direct title. And sometimes what you may not realize is that when you're working with a signing service, it might be a family member of the title agency that's running that signing service. So you really need to be careful. So I'm going to go through some things with you this earlier part of the evening that I've noticed lately. And, you guys know I'm not really great at reading notes, so I apologize. I'm much better when I'm talking from the heart, but I did make some notes over this that I want to go over. Lately, I and my clients have noticed an uptick in a particular email that simply says, I'm available for signings in ... And the ... you're going to, if you don't understand this, it might say, I'm available for signings in California. It might say I'm available for signings in Florida. This email is not only annoying because it comes at 2:30 in the morning and at 5:30 in the morning and at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It's annoying because you're not available for an entire state. The only people that I could possibly believe can service an entire state is probably Virginia. I think I've been told you can drive from one side of Virginia in a certain amount of time, or at least north and south of Virginia. It's very similar to another tactic that was used several years ago, which we're still combating, is by putting in your profile, I do not miss dates, initials, signatures. These are pegging you as a notary that's inexperienced and not knowing how to communicate. I actually archived the emails. Well, if it comes to Unlimited Ink, it gets an auto response that we have already played out on how to work with us, what we're looking for. But this kind of response is too impersonal and it's too general and it's hurting you. So if you are responding to orders or sending out emails to title companies just blindly saying, hey, I'm available for the entire state or an entire county, it's too impersonal and it's annoying. And guess what? There's 133 people, and I know more tuning in, 138 on this call, and it'll get higher tonight. What if everybody here sent the same title company the same email? It does not look good. It looks very impersonal. Okay. So we want to talk about that tonight. It is very important for you to have your name in every signing service and title company's hat that you can possibly get it in, because I'm the preacher of this. I say sometimes, I have clients that'll use me 2 times a month, some that'll use me 15, some that'll use me 30, but it all adds up. But I want to tell you a tactic that I used when I was out in the field, especially with Zig Sig signing orders, SnapDocs, Closewise now. The tactic that I would tell you that is the most important and crucial to getting the business that's coming right now and for the next few months. So write this on your mirror, write it on the inside of your notary journal, write it where you're going to see it, because this is important, especially for those of you that don't have multiple title companies around you that you can walk in the door. Start taking screenshots of who's sending the orders before you even respond, or writing it down. Some of you will know, some of you may not know how to look, but like on signing order, it'll tell you who the signing service is that sent it. SnapDocs is down at the bottom. Zig Sig, same thing. Signature Sync, same thing. Okay. All of them will tell you if it's a title company, if it's a signing service, and what you need to do is tally who has the business in your area. I teach this to my marketing students in my marketing class, but you need to know who has the business in your area. And before you do this, I want you to know the next actions that I'm about to tell you are very serious, and you need to take them very, very seriously if you want to increase your own business. I've talked to signing service owners, I talk to title agencies, I talk to them all day, every day. Believe it or not, there's I think over 50 signing services that are looking for the Notary Star logo right now. 450 title companies that trust Unlimited Ink and Notary Stars combined to service their orders. So I know what of I speak. Okay. Before you reach out to an owner or a lead scheduler, you need to take a look at the signing services website. Okay. A reputable title company or signing service is going to have what they require from a notary in order to work with them. Okay. Now, some smaller title companies may not know that, but you can school them, and we'll get to that. But any reputable signing service in the United States right now is going to tell you, I need XYZ from you. And that conversation is getting a lot stronger. I was just at the Notary Academy conference with several signing services throughout the country that I know are telling notaries what they need from them. And what I'm seeing is a lot of notaries are trying to skip the line and talk their way into it. And I'm going to tell you that that tactic is over. Mark my words, clip it, send it around the internet, and you can mark my words. Signing services are now infiltrating title with why they are better, because they're looking at valuable training. And I'm going to teach you how you can beat them to the punch, because you need to know how to have these conversations. Okay. Every day at Unlimited Ink, I'll use my own signing service as an example. We get 10 to 15 notaries throughout the country that reach out to us, that want to get on our list, that want to be a preferred notary, that have taken XYZ, but not any of the requirements on our website. It's like they didn't even read it. And when we get it, we send back a standard response, and maybe 1% of those standard responses in an entire month actually go out and do what we ask of them, and then we reward them by working with them when they are ready. Okay. So you need to make sure that you look and you ask them. Now, if they have it posted on their website, you really want to make sure that when you reach out to them, that you reiterate back to them, hey, I read your website. I see what you were looking for. I have this, this, and this now. I'm going to do this. XYZ that's on your website. Start that conversation. I have a lot of respect for people who go, hey, you know what? I see that you want Notary to Pro, Notary Stars, and Notary Academy, but right now I only have Notary to Pro. I'm going to do Notary Stars. That starts a conversation that is so much better than I'm available for signings, because I don't know anything about you when you send a I'm available for signings email. Okay. And if you just got here, please go back and watch the replay, because there's I call it an epidemic going on with bad emails going out trying to catch attention, and they're not helping you. So we'll keep moving on with the conversation. So you want to make sure that you met their requirements, and only if you've met the actual requirements, you should be very brazen about this. Ask to speak to the lead scheduler, the head escrow officer, the branch manager, or the owner of the signing service. If they won't take time for you, they are not worth your time. Okay. No doesn't always mean no. So don't just write off everyone. Sometimes you have to follow up. I'm pretty good at getting back to people. I believe everybody that deserves 5 minutes. But if they honestly won't take time to talk to you, then they are not worth your time. And I will tell you, it's time that this industry, especially this community that follows myself, Beth, Kirsten, Manuel, Bill, understands that you have something that they need. Okay. You have an education, and you guys, I know the 161 am going to be growing right now on this call. You guys are seeking education constantly, not just with our group, because you don't get an education just in one place. You want to make sure that you are selling your education. We're going to talk about that in just a second. For those of you that operate through email, the best email that you are ever going to send in your career is going to be a probing email of how you can help them. The very first line should be, "Hi, my name is Ronnie Mickle, and I want to know how I can help you." And then you can list out your education. Then you can list out your experience, but you need to start with, "How can I help you?" It's the very first thing they're going to read. Okay. I've got several emails in the last month. Somebody's finally catching on to this. And I really am appreciating it because, yes, I own a large signing service, but I'm always trying to grow that signing service. Okay. I know you guys are always trying to grow your direct business or your signing service business. So you have to start out, how can I help you grow your business? That helps you grow your business. I don't know if you heard that, so I'm going to repeat it. Asking how I can help you grow your business helps you grow your business. And by yours, I mean all of yours. Okay. Ask them about problems that they may be having with signing agents. That's a great conversation. A lot of people love to complain. Okay. I have built a multi-million-dollar company off of asking, what's your problems? What are your pain points? Some of the things that I heard that I fixed that got this business was they're charging too much. They charge me for scan backs. They don't do scan backs. They don't print the documents legal in letter. These seem like common issues that all of us hear about. But believe it or not, a lot of the title companies and signing services out there, they hear that they hear the same thing. I'm the best notary. I'm the best notary. And they're just starting to catch on to ask these questions. I've been doing it for a while now. You can cut them off, all of your competition, by addressing these things in an email. Are you having problems with this? Are you, some of the problems I've heard is the notaries dress too casual for signings. I dress for success. I will always represent your company right. I've heard that they're rude. I have to say there are certain areas of the country where that might be, where brazenness might be okay, but you never know. You might be living in a community where your positive attitude could really make a title and escrow officer stick out. And then what I really want to get to tonight is the power of a resume. Now, I went to the Notary Academy conference, and it really hit home with me. And I need to get this out to you guys because I received an email recently with a resume in it. And then I also went to this conference and I got a resume handed to me. There were 100 notaries at this conference. We were all encouraged to interact with each other. A lot of notaries came up and wanted to, know about Unlimited Ink, meet the owner if they had worked with us, meet Notary Stars guy. But one person in that room handed me a resume, and it was a wonderful resume. And I took that and I was like, Kirsten, save this. I'm going to work with this person. I'm going to find a way to work with this person. Because in that resume, I saw someone who really cares, a professional. Okay. And with the email that I got recently, it was a little offbeat of what I've said, but it was for the most part. It said, I connected with you through general mentorship, this actual session. It said, I was a member or former member of a certain community, but I find value in education and I would like to work with you in the future. And I was like, oh, I've got to share that on a general mentorship. And then it had a resume attached. And on that particular resume, it did have some previous experience. So I'm going to share some examples in just a moment about resumes and what you should be looking for. And we do teach this in my marketing class, and I want to talk about more of this. A lot of people will tell you don't need a business resume, but they are absolutely wrong. And let me tell you, take it from the guy, me, who actually built a $1 million company, double that, off of having a resume. And the people who are telling you don't need that, don't have that. Now, your goal may not be $1 million or $1 million or $1 million, $1.5 million, but you want to get to whatever your goal is. And if I got to my goal, if your goal is beneath that, please listen, okay? Because I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom where it all changed for me. And you can go back and ask the original Unlimited Ink 8, which is, if you guys know the story, that's how I started the signing service. Really, was 8 notaries dividing the city into a piece of pie. I started with one of the worst resumes ever, and now, and this long later, it's a brilliant resume, and it works. It sells, and what it sells is you, but you have to sell you too. Okay. I sell you as a signing service saying we are looking for Notary Stars. We're looking for Notary to Pro graduates. We're looking for Notary Academy. Excuse me. I used to take cookies in, and I'm going to show you a resume. I'm going to show you an evolution of a resume, actually, and just 3 little points that I can give you that will help you get started. And yes, we do have a resume builder at Notary Stars. You can hire Kirsten to really put your resume together. She just dropped that in the chat. I have to say this because I've been asked to by title companies across the country, and not just my clients, okay? I am told that in this industry today, that nearly every day, there is someone walking into a title company with cookies. And I know that there are trainers all across the country. I'm not pinpointing any single trainer out there, okay, that are telling you to buy cookies. And I made the same mistake up until about 10 years ago, okay? The last time I bought cookies, the guy looked me in the face and said, I'm not going to hire you. I already have a signing service, and I'm not going to hire an individual notary, nor am I going to hire your signing service. And I had spent, and thank God that last time they'd actually given me the cookies for free because somebody rang up something wrong. And I was like, great, because I didn't have the money to be buying cookies in the first place. I want to tell you, you should never underestimate the power of professionalism. And I talked about this with Beth earlier today, and I'm going to have to speed this up, guys, because we have a lot of questions to get to. I think that psychologically, a lot of notaries and a lot of trainers tell the notaries to buy cookies because when you don't get the business, it makes you feel better because at least you did something good or nice. And that is the wrong way to look at a job. Okay. You don't go apply to work at any job and bring cookies and a bagel. Maybe in a major, major, major corporate setting, if you're like the big guy and they want you, you might bring some bagels and be like, hey, let's have a discussion about what we're going to do together. But we're not in that kind of job. Okay. So what I want to tell you is a resume. And I'm going to tell you the biggest secret that I tell all my marketing students. So I'm giving this away for free because I want to help you guys. You need a powerful resume. And when you walk into a direct title company or send an email, you need to send it. But when you walk in direct, you put that resume in a folder and you put it in there and you walk and you tell that door person, you say, I'd like to put my resume into the hands of the branch manager or the lead escrow officer, and you tell them, I'm going to apply online, which we all know you can't apply to be a notary in most title companies online, but you just say, I'm going to apply for a job online, but I'm the old school kind of person and I like to shake hands. And when they ask you what kind of job you're applying for, say, I'd like to be a mobile notary for you. I'd like to be your local mobile notary. It's the sale of all time. I've been told I was sneaky, but it got me a lot of clients. I'm going to share that with you. You are not to be ashamed. And here's how you sell yourself as a mobile notary with these resumes, okay? You sell the education that you've invested into this industry. Notary Stars, all of you guys can easily say, I'm comfortable with 32 plus loan products. Go into Notary Stars, write down all the products that you've learned about. Ask them what products that they are servicing, okay? And you let them know that you are there to help them and ask them, what kind of products what are you mostly focused on? Do you do reverse mortgages? Do you do HELOCs? I've got clients all over the board. So you want to be able to talk to them and speak their language when it comes to getting them to hire you. You don't want to walk in with cookies. That looks weak. It really does. It's a weakness. They are looking at you like you're leaning on a crutch. You're trying to buy your way in the door. You want to walk in with a resume that's beautiful and shows what you can do. Now let's take a look at a few examples really quick, and then we're going to go straight into the questions. Miss Beth, am I okay on time?
You have 7 minutes.
Okay, we'll get through this really quick. I'm just going to open up this email from Kirsten, and then I've got another one up on the screen here. So I'm going to move this over so I can get them open. Now, this is Martha's resume that she brought into the, and I did get her permission to share this on screen. So let's find my share button here. God, you'd think I'd never done this before. All right, here we go. Let me get full screen. So this is Martha's resume here. And I think that this is a great resume. There are some things that I could probably do to help make this a little bit more expanded. But for a resume, I was so proud when I got this, and I was like, I really want to share your resume with people and show that you actually had one. I'm looking down at this here. I see the NNA logo. I see 32 hours of in-person training with Notary Core, Notary Stars member training. That one meant a lot to me, of course. My Notary Academy. I'm starting to see these things. I start to see seller, buyer, hard money, loan modifications, things that she's comfortable doing. If I'm a title company, if any of these fall in my wheelhouse, I'm like, okay, great. Now I have a notary that like understands what I do. One of the downfalls that I had, I went into a meeting with an escrow officer, and she asked me like, "Do you do reverse mortgages?" And I said, "Well," and as soon as I said, "Well," it was over. It was over. It was well. What do you mean, well? I need someone who can do reverse mortgages. That's all we do. Come back when you understand those. And that's what they're really thinking, but maybe people are a little bit more nice. At least that one was told me to my face. It made me a better person. So this is an ideal, resume. I'll pull up Mr. Butch's here. Mr. Butch had his done with us. These are some of the things that I would change just to make it a little bit better, but Marta definitely got the assignment and did a really great job. This is Mr. Butch's resume here. On one side, he's got notary resume. Sometimes I put the logos of the companies. This is one that Kirsten did. He's got his assets listed out, mobile printer, mobile scanner. He's got his mission statement. He's got his education and skills. And then what I would advise you to do with those educational platforms is list out what they have taught you. List out what you learned from them. And if you can't list anything about that training course, don't list it. If it only taught you how to market your business, take it off of your resume. And there are certain ones out there that actually tell you that you only need them, and then they're only teaching you marketing and maybe one file. Find something to say about them or take them off, because a lot of the title companies are privy to this, and they don't want people who are jumping the gun and pushing their way through. And again, take it from the guy who actually owns a big company that works with 450 title companies, not one that just teaches everybody how to. You want to list out that training so it's eye-catching and what you learned in that training. And so, you can see under here Notary Stars, purchase transactions, seller transaction, refinance, home equity. These are the things that Butch is comfortable with. Closings in a trust. Today, Nancy Fauché out in Florida, she's also one of our account reps now at Unlimited Ink Notary. You guys know her from being on here, asking wonderful questions the last 2 years. She walked in there and she got a title office in Ocala, Florida for Unlimited Ink Notary. They were literally complaining about a notary not knowing how to do a file. And they were like, yes, they signed up on the spot. They were waiting for someone to walk through the door. She took in our company resume, and I'm going to show you that as well. And, guys, in the resume class that I do, there are you have privy to this information, but our resume is no big secret. I'm gonna have to make this a little bit larger, but this is how I do my personal resume, and let's see if I can get it to go. There we go. It's gonna be kind of to do in parts because I want you guys to be able to see this. So take notes of what you see on the screen here. It is being recorded, so if you can't write that fast, that's okay. We've got our agenda, what makes us different, right on the first page. This is all about unlimited ink notary. Now, our resume is 3 pages long. We've got our fees listed out there. If they book through Qualia, there's different additional charge. We've got all of the title companies that we're working with here. Now, when I first started, there were only 2 on here. Okay. And I used every attorney that I ever worked with, and I used every, whatever company. Now I list, in alphabetical order, pretty much every company that we could do. We go on and on and on, giving them information about it. We have our vetting policy for notaries. Now, you guys won't have that much information, okay? It's not going to be possible. But you can put it down, and then we have our onboarding form, which they can do online as well. But you'll notice along here on the sidebar, we have highlights that people can look at. $1 million E&O, 1 million general liability, 1 million cybercrime coverage, intentionally overstaffed, hands-on ownership, National Notary Association member. Even I still put that on my resume. Okay, I still put that I'm a National Notary Association member on my resume. I lean into Notary Pro to sell a multi-million dollar company. It is on my resume. You can go back and look at the scroll if you want to. Notary Stars is on my resume. The National Notary Association, Notary Academy is now on my resume. I don't have just one training course on there. And I tell people this is how we vet notaries. And they look down and go, wow, this is different than the last crap that came through here that keeps messing up my orders. And that's how I've been growing. So I want you guys to use this information to turn around and grow your companies. And if you need help with your resume, we definitely offer training on resumes at my marketing class. We give so much away for free here at Notary Stars. This is just a drop in the bucket. But with all of the emails that I see going around right now and the ideas of just taking cookies, I needed to say something because I see notaries hurting themselves. It is the same thing as the I don't miss initials, dates, signatures, all in the right to cancel, blah, 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 that goes in the profiles. It's starting to peg notaries throughout the country of, oh, yeah, this is one that doesn't really care. If you send a blind email that I'm just ready, I'm available, it just says I don't care. You haven't asked me anything about my business, about the clients that we work with. You want to be engaging. Okay. And I hope that I haven't been too crass. Mostly, if I sound a little like fight for it tonight, it's because I know we got to get to all these questions. So, Miss Beth, do you have anything to add to what I put forth tonight?
What I want to say is that if you guys were not taking notes, you just missed out. There was a huge amount of information, free information that was peppered out to you, and you should have been taking notes. I should have been seeing the tops of your heads while you were just making notes and writing. You're going to have to go back and watch the replay. I also want to tell you to forget about I want you to get education from many different training companies, but I don't want you to focus so much on a certificate. And the reason that I'm telling you that is because certificates are being given out a dime a dozen now, okay? And signing agencies and title companies know that. They know that the value of the certificate is losing ground. So don't go chasing certificates. Chase the education. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Miss Beth.
We've had a hand up in the gallery for a little bit here. Would you like to start there tonight?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get the hands up for this, and then let's get as many questions as we can get done tonight.
And guys, we have a lot of questions that we want to get to this evening that were submitted on our JOT form. If you guys don't know about that, our JOT form is a form that you can access to ask your question anytime between the time we close out this session tonight and start it again next week. When you think of it, just access that jot form and pose your question. We'll put it on the list and address it at the very next Monday General Mentorship Forum. Donna, you've had your hand up for a long time. Thanks so much for being so patient. Do you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, real quick. Hi, Ronnie.
There.
Real quick, as a member of Notary Star, can we use their logo, like we did through NNA and everything like that?
Yes, absolutely. In your profile, there's a way for you to get it linked directly to your Notary Stars profile, or you can link it yourself. I highly recommend, especially if you're collecting reviews, linking it back to your profile in order to get people to come back and learn about all of your training, because it's not just about sharing my logo or the company logo. I want you guys to link it back to your Notary Stars profile because we've done so much work to make your profile showcase all the training that you're doing elsewhere as well. So yes, please use the logo. It's in your profile where you can embed it, and if you need to snag it, you can because we train our companies to make sure to go back and actually look them up. So
Okay.
we let people know, like, if people are trying to fake being a Notary Star, there's an easy verification system there.
Okay, and I will say this too. I Googled on my Google profile, and below it there was my name with Notary Star.
I love it.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool to see today. And the other quick question, by state law, different states have different laws. I realize that. By your state law, when you first start, you're required to have X amount of dollars in your E&O. Okay. Um, and I see that a lot of companies want more now as first starting out. Can we build that up to meet requirements? Like instead of automatically jumping in and getting $500,000, it's a pretty big jump from the Florida request $25,000. So
Really
my
great,
next
really great question, and I don't want to cut you off, but honestly, if you want to work in the industry, the more insurance you have, like for direct title or for signing services, the more attractive you are. When I say 25,000, I think a part-time notary, and I'm not going to want to take the risk on a part-time notary. I always say, even if you're going part-time, present yourself as a full-time notary. And especially if you want direct business or you want things, they're not going to hire you with 25,000.
Well, I'm in the process of trying to jump it up, but I can't go up to $500,000, so I'm bumping it up to 100,000. Is that enough for a new notary?
That's enough for signing services for sure. You really, for direct title, you're going to need at least $500,000, $1 million, probably more, $1 million.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Jabari's back in the house. You are quite a regular here, Jabari. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for your help on my resume. I've been definitely getting compliments on that. I just want to thank Ronnie first of all for that really powerful information in the intro. I definitely was taking a lot of notes. I don't think I could type fast enough, to be honest. But my question now, I guess, kind of two-parter is, I noticed we have, some information in the training about marketing or closing a private money loan. I'm asking this because in my area here in Valparaiso, Indiana, it's really heavy on building a lot of new construction and a lot of investors as far as being landlords, So I'm just wondering if, number one, we'll have some more information as far as closing private money loans. And number two, what would the conversation look like, or where would you suggest we start with marketing to investors, new construction, those type of title companies or whatever that's dealing with that type of closings?
So private money loans are the same thing as hard money loans, correct, Beth?
Essentially, the only difference is hard money loans are short term.
Okay. So when you're working with private lenders, which essentially that's hard money loans,
Yes.
the way that I work those conversations is generally, and so generally, they're going to be putting their business through a title office that they really like, that understands that they're not going to jump through hoops for them, and they need to jump through hoops for them.
Mhm.
You really, you can work the angle of finding them through title companies, and finding out who they're using. When you look for private lenders, or when you meet those investors, ask them who the title company is that they're working with. I work with title companies. I'd love to find out who you're working with. Ask them, and that's how I found my biggest hard money lender that I wound up working with every Friday that I talked about with you guys, that I
Mhm.
just go in and sign back to back all day. It started out with me actually working with the title company, and they really liked me, so they would have me come in every week and do all of their clients, on Fridays. You really want to look for the title company that they're working with, and then here's the catch for that. They're probably going to put in X amount of business with that title company, and they're probably going to work with other investors who may have another title company that they're working with. Get in one with the title company, and get that title company to give you a shot to work with them, and then just keep asking their social network of, who are you working with, or do you know any other investors? Are there any other title companies? And then you get the other business from the title company as well. That's how it actually worked for me. As I started out doing that one hard money loan, did really good at it, and then it was like, can you do another? And then it was like, we want to use you for everybody. So it's not a one a one thing that you're going to get out of it by working that angle of hard money loans. You'll actually get more business from all of the title company.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Miss Beth, I think it is time we can go to the sheets now. And thank you, Jabari.
Yeah, thank you, Jabari. We appreciate you. I'm going to go lower your hand now. We've got a series of questions that we need to ask Mr. Mickle and get short, succinct, direct answers. Let me see if I can find them. It's a bunch waiting, hanging out just for you. The star. This one is from Anita C. There are several companies that sell access to additional zip codes. I'm wondering if this is, first of all, something they can legally do, and if it's worth it to pay for this service. I live in a small town. How would I approach title companies in town? So that's a two-part question, two questions.
Well, earlier today, I did answer how to approach title companies, or my personal approach about applying for the job. So to answer the question about several signing services, signing order is the only one that I know that you can do that, where you can do the premier listing. If you have, competition there, yes, it works. I see it working all the time, because you're going to get bumped up the list, especially for those newer signing services that haven't built their list yet. And guess what? New signing service is opening every day. So that $2.99 that you'll pay for it, not a bad deal there.
Awesome. Next one up is from Tasha H. Should you put your prices in signing agent, or is it best to leave all zeros? I'm new to doing loan signings. I don't want to price myself out or put the wrong foot forward.
So we're probably talking about signing order there as well, because that's the only one that I know other than certain off platforms ask. I say leave them at all zeros, because the signing services are just going to offer your prices anyway. And so you don't want to, it's a waste of time. They don't look at it anyway.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Moving on. Affy has a couple of questions here. So could you kindly share some of the mistakes or the most common ones so we can be checking for those?
Absolutely. They're already in the Notary Stars training, and we pretty much end the journey with that before you go out into the field. So if you check the module after, I think it's module 6, you should see that most common mistakes that notaries make before going out into the field.
Awesome. Good reference. Second part, You also mentioned a company that's requiring an agent to be placed on the blacklist for their first mistake, and it escalates to the point where the company would ask that they not be assigned to any of their signings. I'm hoping that, time permitting, the agent would be given a chance to correct any errors before the file is forwarded to the lender. I don't know
So,
if that's a question or not.
well, it is a question and a statement. We do have a client at Unlimited Ink Notary that has now said that if a notary makes a mistake, they should be put on a 30-day bar. And if they make another mistake on their next file, they should be blacklisted, meaning that they don't want to work with them anymore. This is a client preference. They only want the best of the best notaries on their files. Um, so yes, we have a client that said we do not want to work with notaries who make mistakes. And before anybody says everybody makes mistakes, I have notaries that have worked with me for 6, 7 years that literally have only made one mistake. And they would probably be forgiven in those instances working with those clients. But I also have notaries that habitually make mistakes. And so if that client cycles through with you, it is going to be that is it. They want a 30-day bar. And at Unlimited Ink, we have made a company-wide decision that from now on, when a notary makes a mistake, just like MROC, we will keep them for getting orders for 30 days. It won't affect their quality score, but we will now put it on there to not assign them for 30 days because we need to bring up quality because we're taking on so many clients. So the time has come for notaries to kind of take responsibility for their work.
Wow, you're doing awesome. I got 3 more for you before I'm going to let you off the hook tonight.
Okay. And just so
This
you know,
one.
we got to get to Daryl's hand because we're now LinkedIn buddies, and I want to make sure we get to his hand.
Okay, well, we can do Daryl right now if you want. Daryl, you want to unmute and ask your question?
Thank you, Miss Beth. And yes, Ronnie, thanks for shouting that out. But no, to piggyback off what you're saying, because I know when I first got one of my first assignments with you, maybe a little over a year ago, we had talked and discussed, and you liked one of my posts on Instagram, but then also just going further in. But I know that other companies are doing that as well. I've been hearing too, is that they're kind of setting a standard of what they're expecting, and they're setting like that bar. Hey, like if you made like it could just be you missed a date or you just missed a signature, that still counts as a mistake regardless, and they're gonna flag it. And then if it happens again, they kind of say like, hey, like we kind of don't want to work with that notary anymore, and we need top of the tier notaries aren't gonna make mistakes, whether it be a date, a stamp, et cetera, et cetera.
Thanks for backing me up on that. And you're right. It's not just Unlimited Ink. It's many companies throughout the country. And here's why that's coming. Let me just be honest with why this is. Okay, you guys know I am not the guy on the internet or woman that is out there going make 6 figures, bringing in droves of notaries, people who are just trying to change their life. Okay, those infomercials, and that's exactly what they are. They're late night infomercials, are bringing in so many new people to this industry. Okay, and you might be one of them that heard, oh, I was one of them at one point, not, but this was before the YouTube. I heard about it at a bar. I was waiting tables and trying to have lunch with one of my friends whose sister was doing it, and I heard about it. But the people are trying to change their lives and they're trying to start businesses, and Notary is one of them. But now we're saturated, guys. We're saturated with so many notaries, and you've got to decide, are you going to be a great notary or are you going to be a okay notary? And that's what we're talking about, is you've got to dedicate to excellence. That's our motto at Notary Stars here, is dedicated to signing agent excellence. And sometimes I'm the bearer of bad news and people don't like that, like when I tell this is how it's going. But I love that you brought that up and backed me up on that, because I'm not the only one anymore. I was just probably the first one that came in guns blazing saying, we got to do this right. We got to do this right. But now it's like the cat's out of the bag on both sides of the fence.
We have one more hand up in the gallery, Mr. Mickle. This is Susan B. right here in Arizona. Hey, Susan, where's your face?
She's coming. Miss Susan, are you gonna talk to us, or is your hand raised for? There you go.
Uh-oh, try again. I saw her unmute for about half a second. There you go. And you're not unmuted.
You got to unmute, Miss Susan.
How about now?
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Question on the affidavit of property value. So I'm printing documents and it's all in letter size. However, the affidavit printed out with the notarial certificate on a second page. So what's the best case scenario? Should I add a stamp saying that the affidavit is attached, or the certificate is attached, or should I try and print it on legal?
It doesn't really matter on that particular document, Susan. For the Arizona affidavit of property value, if that certificate fell to page 2 and it is set up to look like a loose certificate, add that stamp on page 1 that says, hey, I've attached a jurat, and then add that additional information on the certificate that's on page 2. You could go back and print that out on legal size paper. Maricopa, Pinal, Yavapai counties all take that document, letter or legal size. Doesn't matter.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good to see you.
You too.
Miss Beth, did Miss Delora make it in?
She did not. I was trying to get a hold of her and don't know what happened. She was scheduled, but didn't make it in.
Not a problem. Do you want to do some more rapid fire? See if we can get as many of these answered before.
Can we do these 2 front ones? These are mine. And then we've got a couple for Kirsten, if she's ready for that or if we have time.
Yes. Let me get you set up with this question here. This is from George G. It says, does Notary Stars have a blank loan signing form for us to download so that agents can get comfortable with all the types of basic documents they see when going to a loan doc signing?
I'm assuming George is talking about a loan signing package when he's talking about the signings form. We don't provide you with a copy of the loan documents that we train on, but what we do tell you is that loan document source book from the NNA can be a valuable addition to your library, but in a different particular way. Kirsten's holding up the book there. You can use those and just photocopy each of those pages, or you can take it down to FedEx or UPS, well, FedEx, Kinko's, or an office supply store is what I'm going to say, and have them cut the spine off that book so you have perfectly neat, separate individual pages that you can use in mostly the same manner.
Kirsten, can you hold it up one more time?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I just have her hold it up one more time so that we could pin it while you were talking.
Oh, there you go. That's available from the NNA, guys.
And I don't think we could do it any better, Miss Beth, to be honest. You know, it's a great resource. It's got all of the documents that you can go over, you can practice with. We go over the nuances in the class, but you know, it would just be reinventing the wheel to get that book, and the debinding, which I'm the one who came up with that, everybody. I'm the one who did
Yes.
Debinding it and being able to practice with those documents should be more than sufficient when it comes to working with those documents.
Alrighty. One hand up in the gallery. Urania, do you want to unmute and ask your question? Can I?
Okay, there. Can you hear me?
Yep.
It took me a long time to find a hand. I do want to say thank you for the information about updating the your resume. I call it a one sheet, and another training is called one sheet. I was going to update it anyway to some of the things that you guys were mentioning. So I would need some input on that. But here's my question as far as on marketing. I'm here in Missouri, and I'm commissioned in both Missouri and Kansas. And I will say, I haven't did it in a while, but marketing some of these title services, they'll say, hey, well, we use such and such orders, or, you know, some of the platforms that I'm signed up with already. And the issue sometimes is with marketing is signing services saying, hey, don't market to my client. This is my client. If you're signed up with us, that's my client. Well, how do you get around all that when you're right in your own area, here in your own city? And, you know, you're not trying to step on nobody's toes, but you're not trying to always be signed up under signing services either, because I am my own signing service. So how do I work around that?
So I have to tell you, I don't care who walks into my clients. Okay. You can walk into them all day long, because if they want to use Unlimited Ink Notary, they will. The signing services that are a little, excuse my word, I hope this isn't going to take us taking off YouTube, pissy about that, are not
Yeah.
doing their job. Okay. They're not doing their job by being a good signing service, and they're nervous that you could take their business. So I will tell you that you can walk into any title company out there. Signing order makes you re-sign a contract each time that you work with a company. SnapDocs, I don't know if it does anymore, because I haven't been on. I won't say the name because I'm going to get sued one day talking about these people. But you know, you should have a contractor agreement. But here's the thing: go in the door. If they don't want to work with you and they don't know what kind of a great notary you are. Now, if the title company tells you, I work with this company, then you need to make a choice if you want to work with that company. But there may be an escrow officer in that door that doesn't want to use a signing service, or maybe wants one notary that they can have that they can trust. And I have tons of offices. Out of 450 clients, I have one office that only use several of them that only use us for the nationwide business. They only use us for the nationwide, and they work with the local notaries. And then I have some that are only work with, they only want to do a service. There's all kinds of business out there for you to go get, and you can't let anyone, and self included, tell you that you don't have the right to walk in the door and try to get a job.
Okay.
We don't live in that kind of economy to worry about that crap anymore. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't, and I won't, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to either.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If you're
And you
looking
can
for
ignore the
permission,
question on the link, because I posted in the link because I couldn't find the hand. So, but yeah, you answered my question. Thank you.
if you're looking for permission, there's an old saying: it is better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to get this one question off of our list, Mr. Ronnie, before we move on. We've only got 3 minutes left. This one came in I think last week, maybe the week before. We just need to get it closed out. This is from Darshima. This says she was sent out to notarize a notice of commencement. This is kind of long and drawn out, but the answer is like a one-word sentence here. I was sent out to notarize a notice of commencement, which contained an acknowledgement. During the appointment, I had the signer write NA on the blank lines of the document, as we're prohibited from notarizing documents with blank lines. I scanned the documents as requested. I received an email asking that NA not be written on the blank lines. I replied, thanking the company for the opportunity to be of service, but explained that notaries are prohibited from notarizing documents with blank lines. And I copied and pasted the Florida statute that prohibits the act. The company replied stating they work with a lot of notaries who do not write NA all over the documents, but if I must write NA to use black ink. My question is, can a company suffer loss as a result of an improper notarization? Bottom line is, the answer to that question is yes, they can. Yes. So you guys need to know what your statutes are for your state. Not every state says that you can't notarize something with a blank line in it. That almost 100% pertains to jurats. You can't have blank lines when you're completing a jurat certificate. So they can't swear to a document that has blanks in it. The other thing that you can't write NA on really quickly is powers of attorney, where you're making a choice on maybe an advance directive or something like that on a power of attorney. If there is a choice to be made, you're choosing either this or this, but not both. You cannot write NA on the one that you're not choosing. So just keep that in mind. So that regulation that she mentioned from the state of Florida does not apply universally. So make sure you know what your state regulations are. That one, we've gone back to Daryl real quick.
Daryl, you'll be taking us home tonight, so let's
Yeah.
let's make this the best question ever.
So it's kind of my question, but in a sense it's not, because I saw Tony put it in the chat. But it is a question that I've also thought about too, because it's coming up a lot of the times in a different community I'm in. But because we talked about iPEN. So his question was saying, why are title companies or SSs not utilizing iPEN services, specifically your investor or seller side signings? And that's a question I wanted to ask too, because I know it's kind of getting a little more known in person at electronic notarizations, but I've never really seen them come across as much as of yet.
I love this question. So we've actually addressed this within the Notary Stars community, and I gotta tell you, Daryl, you gotta watch a little bit more, because I actually got in trouble for writing this article, which is still posted, and we invited Escrow Tab to come in and talk about what they do. But I am the loudmouth of the South. You know, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, so
Yep.
if I get information, people don't like me because I turn around and put it on a blog and get it out to our followers. Okay. Here's what Bill and I have derived behind the scenes. You kind of have in person where you have to do the paper, and that's usually because the lender, and I have to say this before I keep going, there's so much business for Ron. It's not just title and escrow, but in the title and escrow world, the lender has to be the one to approve that the mortgage can be electronically notarized. If they don't, then it won't be insured. So currently, Amrock is one of the only ones that does everything. They own the signing service, they own the title company, they own the mortgage company. Like Rocket Mortgage is Amrock,
Right.
essentially. And so they do it because they don't intend to sell the loan. But a lot of them are not doing it because they can't sell the loan. So Amrock is the only one that I see that does iPEN, and they told me personally over the phone, working for them as an agent, that their new thing is Ron, iPEN, all paper. They're trying to weed out all paper altogether, so they want to do the and their iPEN is the hybrid, and they also have iPEN. iPEN just never took off, and I have a client here in Arizona. They have 80 offices. I went to a seminar with the founder's son who runs the Ron department. They don't do any Ron with us. They have their own in-house Ron, and they went out and bought 80. We won't say the brand because I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming it's the $1,500 ones that he was complaining about. They said they opened one, they tried it once, it didn't really work the way that they thought it was going to, and it was just done. Because they still have to have that mortgage done, by paper. So for some reason, I mean, if you're going to send a notary out, right, you might as well just print the paper.
Yeah.
It sounds great to do everything with electronic, but if you're going to do everything in person, you might as well do the paper. Then you get a real signature. There's just so much more to it. And so, and I encourage everybody to understand. At one point, there was one company out there that was charging like $1,500 if you bought an iPad and all this stuff. And I think they came down on prices since then. I want you guys to remember this is a great way to close out an evening. And I hope, first of all, Daryl, did I kind of answer your question?
Yeah, no, because I know we Astro Tab jumped into Remote Online Notary Association, which I kind of mentioned to you before. They kind of told us the same thing, but I know that iPen is limited to like so many XYZ tablets. Like I know iPads can do it, certain like Windows and everything like that. I'm not gonna list it because I don't do it myself. And I don't want to say any false information, but I know that it is limited to so many tablets. But like you're saying, it's just easier at that point. If you're already going to send an in-person notary, just have the paper and pen go.
Well, it's not just the easier factor. It's the fact that, technology, we're not there where we want to, whereas us notaries want to be, or people who invented Ron would like to be. We're not there yet. So if you're going to take a risk, you might as well just do the paper. And it kind of also just kind of skipped from in person with all paper to Ron. I mean, if you're going to do electronic, you might as well just do everything online. And so there's that little bridge of the hybrid that never really took off. It was kind of like a lingering there, but it hasn't really kept going. But this is the perfect time, and I'm sure I answered it with that. So I appreciate that
For
question.
sure.
This is the thought I would like to leave you with. If you just got here tonight, I was told I delivered on the resume thing earlier. So if you just got here, please go back and watch the beginning, because I meant what I said, and it was really important for me to get that out. But here's what I would say about conferences, okay? They are designed to sell you things. Every conference I've ever been to or ever participated in, I was either there to sell myself, sell my company, or look for something to buy. That is a perfect example of going to a conference and someone wants to jam you up. There's this new way to do things. Spend this $1,500 with me. You are an adult. You own a business. You have to make business decisions. And sometimes you have to let other people make mistakes for you. I've done that my entire career. And now I do things like that. I buy things and test them out and come back and tell you and see if it works. And I don't mind doing that. But if you make your own decisions and you go out and buy a $1,500 device and it doesn't pan out, I always joke about my first year as a notary. I bought a Yellow Pages ad and then got 0 calls because no one uses the effing Yellow Pages anymore. So, and back when I was growing up, you had to have the Yellow Pages. So just remember, guys, everything is always trying to sell you something, Notary Stars included. We try to sell you education, dedication to excellence. Just ask yourself before you spend your money, what are they really trying to sell me? What am I going to get out of this? How will it benefit me? With that said, if you are not naked or stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, please turn on your cameras, because it is time to give our signature wave for the evening. Let's make sure to wave to all of our wonderful instructors here at Notary Stars. Wave to your fellow notaries across the country. Wave to yourself if you come back and watch the replay, and wave to those future notaries that are going to be joining us. And they're going to find this video and be like, come on, page 2. I'm turning it on. I want to see page 2. I know you guys, they're out of all the people on here, you got to turn on some cameras. All right, everybody. Miss Beth, how do we really say it here at Notary Stars?
Well, first, I want to say that all 179 people that were here at the height of our attendance for this session tonight ought to be able to make a difference somewhere. I want to remind you to reach back and grab the hand of another notary. We're all in the same storm, guys. We're just not all in the same boat, right? Ronnie's got a yacht, and Carol's got a canoe, and Jabari's just dog paddling right now. So reach back and grab his hand, help him out, show him the way. Be kind, guys. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Night.